In this podcast episode, the host sits down with environmental neuroscientist and psychology professor Marc Berman from the University of Chicago to explore the profound influence nature has on our brains, mental health, and behaviors, especially how it can restore cognitive function and counteract the draining effects of modern technology and urban living. At the heart of Berman's work lies the understanding of human attention and its critical role in nearly every facet of our lives. Attention, he explains, is not a singular function, but includes two primary forms: directed attention and involuntary attention. Directed attention is the mental muscle we voluntarily exercise when focusing on tasks, decisions, or conversations. It requires willpower and is a limited resource. After sustained use, it fatigues, leaving us mentally exhausted and less capable of concentration or self-control. This exhaustion is familiar to anyone who has experienced brain fog after a long day of challenging work or study. Conversely, involuntary attention is spontaneously captured by stimuli that are inherently interesting or engaging, such as dynamic sights or sounds. Importantly, this form of attention does not deplete cognitive reserves and allows for mental replenishment. Natural environments uniquely engage involuntary attention with soft fascination. Stimuli like flowing water, rustling leaves, fractal patterns, and gentle curves that automatically draw our focus without overwhelming our brain's capacity. This dynamic enables our directed attention to rest and recover, something we rarely achieve in technology-saturated or overly stimulating urban settings. Berman highlights the growing problem of attention fatigue in modern life, exacerbated by constant social media distractions, streaming platforms, and relentless advertising that fragment our focus and increase anxiety, especially among children. He emphasizes studies showing that children with ADHD experience attention improvements from brief nature walks, comparable to the effects of medication with Ritalin, a finding that underscores nature's therapeutic potential. Yet he stresses that while nature can supplement treatment, it does not yet replace medication. Unlike meditation, which requires training, spending time in nature provides an easy-to-access restorative effect on the brain's attention system. Despite the common assumption that enjoyable or pleasant experiences yield benefits, Berman's research reveals that people gain cognitive improvements from nature exposure even when discomfort is present, for example, during cold or snowy weather. The benefits stem not from liking the environment, but from the unique way nature stimulates the brain. The benefits of nature extend far beyond restored attention. Berman and colleagues' research involving tens of thousands of urban residents demonstrates that living near more trees correlates with lower rates of cardiometabolic diseases, with effects comparable to significant economic advantages. Additionally, patients recovering in hospital rooms with views of nature heal faster and require less pain medication than those facing urban walls, a finding supported by controlled, randomized studies. At the social and emotional levels, Berman presents compelling evidence that access to natural environments reduces aggression, crime rates, and impulsivity. For example, families in Chicago public housing randomly assigned to apartments with even modest views of greenery exhibited better self-control and fewer aggressive behaviors. Neighborhoods where residents frequently visited parks reported lower crime rates, independent of income or education levels, indicating that nature supports social cohesion and regulation of impulses. When compared to other common methods for enhancing focus, such as caffeine, exercise, or meditation, nature holds its own remarkably well. Short walks in nature exhibit similar cognitive benefits to meditation sessions, but without the need for specialized practice. Exercise and caffeine provide different physiological boosts, but time in nature uniquely repairs cognitive fatigue by engaging in voluntary attention and reducing mental stress. Moreover, the auditory and visual components of nature offer additional calming effects on the nervous system, accelerating recovery from acute stress. Whereas many people retreat to phones or social media for breaks, Berman cautions that these often feel restful but actually continue to tax attention and reduce overall mental energy. He encourages breaks in real or even simulated nature, such as listening to natural sounds or viewing nature images, to tangibly replenish focus and reduce stress. Berman discusses the architectural and design implications of his research, revealing that environments rich in natural patterns, curved edges, fractals, and softly fascinating elements foster spirituality, calm, and mirroring of nature's restorative qualities. Architecture reminiscent of nature's fractal geometry, such as the works of Antonio Gaudí, elicits positive psychological responses and may promote well-being in urban spaces. At the same time, not all nature or green space is equally effective. Safety and maintenance are critical to ensuring that residents can access the benefits of natural spaces. Unsafe or poorly maintained parks fail to provide restorative effects, highlighting the importance of social factors in health outcomes linked to nature. A concerning trend explored is how children today are increasingly disconnected from natural settings, with a preference for urban stimuli and bright, fast-paced screens dominating their attention. Berman notes that love for nature often develops with age and exposure, stressing that adults need to foster early nature interactions to cultivate this appreciation in younger generations. While kids instinctively gravitate to flashy urban images, consistent experiences in natural spaces can reshape preferences and build lifelong habits. Berman's personal perspective as a parent mirrors this challenge. He strives to provide his children time in nature, despite modern pressures, crowded schedules, and widespread technological distractions. Encouraging a balance between screen time and outdoor play stands out as essential for developing attention regulation and emotional resilience. The discussion also touches on the tactile dimension of nature, the physical sensation of touching grass, dirt, or water, and how these engagements may deepen the brain-body connection and promote well-being, a relatively understudied area. This strain of research resonates with cultural habits like forest bathing and groundedness practices that emphasize reconnecting physically with the earth. Similarly, exposure to water, rivers, lakes, or oceans engages involuntary attention through fractal sounds and movements, promoting relaxation and creative flow. Cold water immersion, while uncomfortable, has also been embraced as a means to invigorate the body and mind, reflecting our evolutionary heritage with nature's elements. Another fascinating insight from Berman's work is how being in nature fosters less egocentric thinking and more prosocial reflections. Controlled studies showed that people walking in indoor conservatories rich in plants and trees thought more about others, whereas those walking in commercial malls tended to be more self-focused, aligning with consumption-driven mindsets. This shift away from self-preoccupation may be vital for mental health and social cohesion. Moreover, environments rich in curved, fractal edges prompt greater spiritual reflections. This reveals nature's subtle capacity to connect us with a sense of something greater, reinforcing the holistic benefits of natural experiences beyond mere cognitive restoration. Berman acknowledges the challenges posed by rapid urbanization, car-centric city designs, and social inequalities that restrict access to safe, quality natural spaces. Yet, he is optimistic about a nature revolution, wherein urban planning and individual choices prioritize access to natural environments for better mental and physical health. He advocates for systemic changes such as increasing recess and outdoor time in schools, redesigning urban parks for safety and appeal, and encouraging public policies that integrate nature into everyday life. Such reforms could counter rising rates of anxiety, depression, and attention disorders, especially prevalent among youth today.